What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 7 of the Charge to the Top here with Kingston Sprinton. Today we're back and it's the start of our MLS playoff adventure. Today we take on New York City FC in the MLS wildcard kind of playoffs. Hopefully we can go off to the ideal start. You know, the playoffs, it's all coming down to this. You play through the entire season, and in reality, it comes down to a straight knockout competition. And well, today, New York City FC stand in the way. Since the last episode, which was against Tigres, you can see we've played a fair few games. We've played in the MLS, and we've had 3 games there. We got a win against New York 4-0. Great result there. We then lost to Chicago 2-0, but we did follow that up with an end-of-season win against Houston. You'll also notice the JFF Champions Cup has come in and around. Basically, this is the equivalent of the FA Cup. It's a a domestic competition for all the clubs in Jamaica to take part in, and as we are based in Jamaica, we are of course invited along as we don't play in the US Open Cup. But anyway, today we are going to be taking on New York City FC. I will just quickly say, if you're sat thinking, Jack, your voice sounds different. Yeah, I had a party with work yesterday, and I don't have a voice really, so I need to play it because I'm addicted to Football Manager and I can't just sit on my save over a weekend. But as a result, like, my throat, it's been better. I've sounded better. We'll go with that. I think that's a fair assessment. Anyway, if we just look at the MLS kind of playoff situation, you can see here we finished 3rd in the end. We only finished 1 point behind Philadelphia, which is really, really great. You can see the real kind of standout victors. Toronto had an absolutely outstanding season. They played really, really well. Fair play to them, and they actually finished 10 points clear of Philadelphia in 2nd in the Supporters' Shield. Anyway, today we're going to be taking on New York City FC in the playoffs. You can see they finished down in 6th. They scraped by in the end, finishing just ahead of Montreal Impact to make it into the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. And of course, either ourselves or New York City FC will take on Toronto or Philadelphia in the next round of the playoffs if we can get a result today. And it's a big if, you know, we've got to turn up for this one big game now. It's kind of against the stage of the season, that kind of crunch time where you just can't afford to have players go missing. In terms of our team news, you can see here the squad in a very, very good position actually. The only issue we have, Ikapara, out injured. You can see out with a broken hand. Unfortunately, it's a fairly lengthy injury. He's been out for a little while with this. He has tailed off as a result in terms of his ability, particularly when it comes to his physicals. But obviously a massive, massive miss for us. A player who's actually in the running to be the MLS player of the season. And to be honest, he deserves it. He's been absolutely outstanding as the defender. I'm pretty sure he's going to get defender of the season. I'd be disappointed if he didn't, because I feel like when you compare him to the other players, it's pretty obvious that he's been one of the best players in the league. You can see, you may have noticed it's there actually, we are top of the kind of, the team leaderboards for goals scored. So hopefully we can fire in some goals today and get a convincing result. In terms of just looking at the rules here, more for my own benefit as much as it is for you guys watching at home, if we just look at the wildcard spot, you can see there are no restrictions in the current squad selection. Extra time will be played if the scores are level, penalty shootout, free subs. There's nothing too unique about this, I guess you could say. It's a one-match thing, and the winner qualifies for the semi-final of our conference's kind of playoffs. So let's see what we can do here. New York City FC, we're at home for this game. I think that's a big advantage. In terms of our team, Andre Blake in goal. He's going to be desperate, obviously, to get a result here. He's going to want to play against Philadelphia, his former club, the club who waived him at the end of last season and allowed us to draft him in as part of the expansion draft. At left back, we go with Kamar Lawrence, of course, a former New York man himself, but that was at the Red Bulls and not at New York City FC. So he's going to want to do one over on his rivals, I imagine, a team that I can't imagine he's too fond of. Anyway, O'Neill Fisher at right back. In the defence, obviously, the injury to Apara does mean that Fabian McCarthy comes into the side. This player, someone who's really kind of surprised me, if I'm honest. He has very, very good mentals, you know, 20 determination's great. He's a very, very well-rounded defender without being too standout, but you can see this year, he really has put in some great performances for us. A 7.28 average rating in MLS, and he also has a 7.8 average rating in the 2 Champions League games he was involved in, so definitely a player who can step in, and he is today going to be playing alongside Jermaine Taylor, a player who, again, has had a very, very solid kind of first season here at the club. 4 games played in the North American Champions League, a 7.25 rating in MLS, perhaps a little bit more disappointing, but I really can't fault the 32-year-old. You know, he's come in and he's done a great job for us. Anyway, across the midfield, we're going to go with Michael Carrick in that deep line playmaker role. I do not think I'm going to be extending Michael Carrick's contract after this year. His contract, you can see it ends in just a few months. I'm going to let him go, I think. I think there's younger designated players out there. And well, when you look at his average ratings, you can see he hasn't perhaps contributed as much as you'd like to see from a player who, you know, he is one of your star men. And at the age of 36, with his physicals on the decline, Michael Carrick, I don't think is an ideal solution in our midfield kind of long term. Anyway, at right centre mid, we're going to go with Mark Pelosi, very talented player. The 23-year-old, he's not done great in MLS, but he's kind of turned up when needed. Really, I feel like our centre mid kind of position is so well covered. Pelosi's just kind of a weak link in there. Obviously, Jermaine Anderson, 21 years old. This guy's improved a lot this year. He does have Jamaican secondary nationality. I'm desperately hoping he's going to want to play for Jamaica because he's good enough to play for the national team. A very, very talented player. Unlikely to ever play for England's national team. Obviously, 19 years old, club captain, 21 years old. He's had a pretty good first year at the club, a 7.5 rating in the North American Champions League in the 3 games he was involved in. He's played 26 of our 34 games in MLS this year in the kind of league, of course. Did miss a fair few games through injury, unfortunately. And the central attacking mid-role, we're going to go with Daniel Johnson, 25 years old, a player who's really, you know, come of age, I guess, this season. He's only 25, broke into the Jamaican national team, has played 9 times for them so far this calendar year. And, well, you can see a 7.1 average rating in the league and 10 goals from midfield, a really, really good total. And, of course, up top for today's game, we're going to go with Andre Clennon, 15 goals in 22 MLS matches, 6 assists as well. And, of course, Julian Green alongside him, a player who, again, has scored a fair few, not perhaps as many as I'd like Julian Green, but he's been a really solid kind of contributor to the team. Had a great kind of run in the Champions League and a 7.03 average rating in MLS, nothing to be scoffed at. We've got options on the bench. We've got players like Dia here, who's a player who will probably end up leaving the club, to be honest. He's not played that much for us. 9 appearances kind of as a backup fullback. Other players here, we've got Montrose Finn, who's just a backup centre-back. Unfortunately, we have got a few injuries going on. Decoy Williams is suspended. Obviously, Apara's injured. So he's kind of our last kind of choice centre-back, and he is going to potentially play today if we need him to. We also have Edgar Solis, the Mexican left-back, a player who has been very underwhelming this year. He's on a kind of minimum wage contract, so doesn't count too much towards our salary cap. But yeah, really disappointed really with him as a player. Scott Caldwell, good centre mid, a player who has kicked up a little bit of fuss, and you can see he is going to be leaving us at the end of the season, which is a little bit of a shame for the 26-year-old. We did acquire him this year in a trade which involved a 4th round pick in the Super Draft, which was a pretty good deal at the time. His wages aren't that small. That said, you know, he's a talented player. I would have liked to have kept him around, but ultimately he wants to play regular first-team football, and I really can't guarantee him that. And then, well, we get to the attacking options. We've got Ricardo Morris here, very, very talented, obviously, centre midfielder. Great creative force in the team. Hopefully, if we need to call upon him, he can really make a difference. And then 2 strikers. We have Alan Otti, who, as you can see here, 12 goals in 18 appearances in MLS. 8 of them on off the bench as well. So that's a really good goal-scoring record for him. A really good impact substitute. The other player we have, Jason Johnson, 9 goals for him. Had a really good start to the year in MLS. Obviously, the addition of Julian Green kind of saw him forced out of the first team, and he has slowed down since then. But he's an option on the bench, and we can bring him on if we need to. Anyway, looking at the New York City FC team here, just real quick, obviously a few players that stand out. David Villa going to be playing out on the left wing. They've got this guy here who looks like a pretty good little striker, to be fair, the Colombian. They also have Perlo, who obviously fantastic player. Alongside him, they've got Lampard as well, which, I mean, they're going to be lacking a little bit of the legs in the midfield, and that's obviously what I'm hoping we can capitalise on with our narrower system. They've also got Diskerud, who's a pretty good player. I believe he's called Mix. I mean, it has it on his shirt name there. Obviously, last year, I kind of started a Pentagon Challenge. It didn't really come to be, but I was in charge of New York City FC, so there are a few players here who I kind of recognise. But anyway, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to tell the players I expect a performance. I think that they can do it today, though. This is a big game for us, obviously. It's our maiden voyage into the playoffs. The format, of course, being that we play this, the wildcard spot. We'd then have the conference semi-final and the conference final. And then if we were to get that far, we'd, of course, play for the MLS Cup. And that is contested between the kind of top team and the team who advance from both conferences through the playoffs. Obviously, Toronto FC, a team who will stand in our way if it gets to that. But, well, we need to focus on the here and now. New York City FC on the attack. Fantastic stop, I think, by Andre Blake there. It may have even been a defensive tackle. But, well, 10 minutes gone. New York City, first clear-cut chance of the game. Not ideal. Not ideal. You know, you want to settle into the game. You don't want to be giving away clear-cut opportunities. They might be able to get the ball back into the mix here. Perlo, back post. He was offside. We're let off the hook a little bit, but, well, the warning shot has been fired. I don't know if it was Fabian McCarthy or the goalkeeper ended up preventing that going in, but it was great play by whichever player it was. And, well, we are on the attack here. And Daniel Johnson, what have you just done? What has he just... If you're not paying full attention to this video, because I know people listen in the background, tab out of your FMs. Tab out of it. Watch this. What a way to turn up in the playoffs. I said he's really had a year, kind of a coming of age, the 25-year-old, of course. Signed from England, signed from Preston. A real star player for Preston as well. And, well, with a finish like that, on a stage like this, in a match as big as this, you can't fault him. It's something out of absolutely nothing. You can see here we're knocking the ball around. And, well, it's Johnson here who hits it, bang. And, well, pick that out. Pick that out. I mean, he can try and pick it out. He's going to struggle. I'll say that now. I just noticed, I think we're wearing an Atlanta United kit. Of course, I did replace Atlanta United in the editor to create this side. But obviously, you can see in 2D it's yellow, but it seems like it's picking up the licensed kits, which it shouldn't do. But you know what? In homage to Atlanta, which I have to say I did watch their first game in MLS, which was actually against New York Red Bulls. I did watch it, and fair play to them. They looked pretty good in the atmosphere. That was incredible. And, well, the atmosphere here is going to be incredible as well, because Andre Clennon has just scored a second. And, well, with 20 minutes gone, a quick-fire double, really from not a whole lot, puts us in a prime position now to get something from this game and, well, get through. Clennon threaded through. Keeper, he's in no man's land. Great ball through by Jermaine Anderson. Andre Clennon doing what Andre Clennon does. Uses that little bit of pace he has. Gets in behind. Slots the ball away. And, well, we're on the attack again here. Daniel Johnson. Pelosi. Plays it to Julian Green. Fisher now hits it. And, well, O'Neill Fisher, he scored a Rabona. Now he's scored an absolute screamer. It's 3 goals in, what, the space of... well, 5 minutes. We have turned this game on its head. Julian Green, the right back. I thought maybe he'd pull it across. No, he's going to smash it into that top corner. What a performance this has been. And, well, we are making a statement of intent. Of course, New York City FC did only scrape into the playoffs, so they did probably come into this game considered underdogs. But the nature of this performance so far has been superb. And, well, let's just make sure we kind of stay switched on now. You'd feel like a 3-goal lead is safe, but with 17 minutes left in this game and with New York City on the attack, we've got to be wary. And, well, there's the warning sign. We've only had 3 shots. They've all gone in. You know, we've taken our luck. And, well, New York City FC, you might have expected their heads to drop, having conceded 3 goals in 5 minutes, but just 1 minute after we scored, they've gone up the other end and, well, smashed one in. Andre Blake in goal. Can't really blame him, really. Can't really blame him. I don't think there's a whole lot you can expect from your goalkeeper there here. But, well, we're on the attack now. It's end-to-end stuff here. And, well, Kamar Lawrence pulls it back. Julian Green, Kamar Lawrence maybe. The fullback scores. What has happened in this game? We have just had 5 goals in the space of 7 minutes. Less than 7 minutes. This is crazy. What? Why? Like, where's the defending from either team? I mean, we've only let in 1, I guess. But this is... madness, absolute madness. This game has gone a little bit crazy. I mean, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. We've not had a goal in 2 minutes. Can I file a complaint about not entertaining enough football? I mean, I'm entertained. We're 4-1 up. We could be on our way to, well, the next round of the playoffs because, well, 4-1 is a great position to be in. I was a little bit worried when New York City got that kind of goal back, you know, maybe we're about to bottle it big time. I mean, we still could. But you'd have to say a 3-goal cushion and, well, with New York City looking like they're incapable of defending. And with, well, when you look at the stats now, 15 shots to New York City's 2. We are creating a lot more. And, well, we're on the attack again here. Jermaine Anderson, Captain Fantastic, pulls it across. What a ball that is. And, well, less than a minute into the second half, we have another goal. It's 5-1 here. Julian Green, the American international, on the end of it. Of course, a player who's come in as a young designated player for us. A bit of pressure on his shoulders, perhaps, to perform in the playoffs. And the ball, it's pulled back great. And he just slots it away. It's a really, really nice finish by Julian Green. And you'd have to say we deserve it. We've been great this game. We've not had a whole lot of clear-cut chances, but we've created plenty of half chances, and we've taken the kind of goals that have come our way. Jermaine Anderson, the captain, he has 3 assists from centre midfield. He has had just one of the games of his life, you'd have to say. I still would like to see a good defensive kind of performance for us, from us in what is left of this game, of course. It's all very good scoring load, but we are going to be tested more, you'd think, in future games, so making sure our defence is strong is going to be, I guess, fairly important going forward. And well, as I was rambling on there, Jermaine Anderson, he's got 3 assists to his name. He just had a great chance to get a goal, but unfortunately, he's not the best player when it comes to his finishing, and it kind of showed there, although, well, I thought there might be more to come, and there could be. New York City FC on the counter. Where is our defence? What were we doing? The ball, it goes wide of the mark. It should have been a goal for New York City FC. A really good chance squandered there. And, well, I'm going to make a change. There's 20 minutes left in this game. Andre Clennon, you played great. Otti, get on the pitch. I'm also going to take off Pelosi and bring on Ricardo Morris. So we're going to bring on 2 Jamaican players. 2 players who, if I'm not mistaken, have both played in the national team, although aren't currently in the national team themselves. Although, well, Pelosi, there's a reason you're coming off. That's the reason. Smashes it over the crossbar. Should have done so much better. The centre midfielder there, of course, not really a player known for his finishing prowess, but you would have backed him to at least hit the target, and in the end, he did just sky it completely. Anyway, New York City FC on the attack here. Michael Carrick, lovely tackle, up to Daniel Johnson. Jermaine Anderson, he's going to want another assist, isn't he? Ricardo Morris. Julian Green, there's options out wide on the right. The ball's cleared. Right back, very high up the pitch here, O'Neill Fisher. It could leave some gaps in behind. David Villa pulls it across. McNamara definitely should have scored that. Definitely should have. New York City FC, you'd have to say, they've not looked that threatening today, but they have hit us on the break a few times, but they've just not taken those opportunities that they absolutely had to take in this game. And, well, can we take another one here? Daniel Johnson, Kamar Lawrence, he scored a goal, the left back. He whips it in. Julian Green back post. It's 6-1 here. What a performance this has been. Julian Green, beautiful finish. Kamar Lawrence, lovely assist. It's a very similar goal to the one that Julian Green scored earlier. On that occasion, it was Jermaine Anderson with the crossing. This time, Kamar Lawrence dinks it to the back post, and, well, Julian Green gets there. And it was a really well-timed run. The ball across was superb. The keeper couldn't come out for it. The defence couldn't deal with it. And, well, Jermaine Anderson picks up an injury. I've just been singing his praises. Surely that is just not going to be a long-term injury. I hope it's not going to be a long-term injury. That would be such a kick in the teeth. He's been so good for us, but he's been having these persistent issues with twisted ankles and twisted knees, which obviously they're fairly fragile parts of your body, the joints. I don't know why I told my players I wasn't happy. I didn't mean to do that. Hopefully they don't complain to me. At least the game's over now. I didn't expect us to win that well. We're through to the semi-final. 6-1 we won. Jermaine Anderson, torn knee ligaments. That is his season over. Wow. I mean, that's just a kick in the gonads, isn't it? 3 assists he got. Was man of the match. Was top performer. 2 to 3 months out with torn knee ligaments. That is going to be, well, the end of his season, unfortunately for us. You can see, actually, Julian Green, I think, got man of the match. He got 2 assists and 2 goals. He went a little bit under the radar, didn't he, Julian Green? But fair play to him. Gave a great performance for us there. You can see Chicago beat Columbus 2-0. In terms of our next game, if we just have a look here, I believe we'll be taking on Philadelphia, although I don't know if it's a seeded system or if we get drawn randomly. Obviously, we are still playing in the JFF Champions Cup. You can see here post-match analysis. Pretty good performance by everyone. I feel a little bit bad for Otti. Came on off the bench, was told he was disappointing. We do have the option to vote in the MLS Defender of the Year. I don't like voting in these if one of my players is the player up. Is that bad? Does that make me a bad person? Like, I'd vote for Apara based off his average ratings and how many man of the matches he's got. But I can't because he's my own player, so it's grayed out. But I don't want to vote for other players because obviously that's going to count against Apara, and he's my player. I want my players to win awards, so I refuse to vote. You can't make me. But anyway, we'll have to see who we have in the semi-final. I do believe it's over 2 legs. I don't know when the draw for this is going to be made. Perhaps, I'll tell you what, we're going to end it here. We're going to end it on a cliffhanger. It's not really much of a cliffhanger if you guys already know at home that it's a seeded draw, and so we'll probably be taking on Philadelphia. But you can see both ourselves and Chicago, kind of the two teams who finished 3rd and 4th, have gone through to the next round. So league form was kind of true and was how the playoffs played out. And yeah, hopefully next time we can get a good result. Philadelphia, I believe it's going to be against Andre Blake's former team, but you guys will have to stick around and find out. Anyway, I'm going to go rest my voice. Hopefully it's better tomorrow for the next video that I need to record. And yeah, thank you so much for watching as always, guys. If you have enjoyed, leave a like. If you've got any comments, with regards to that performance, please let me know. Or with regards to Jermaine Anderson's injury, I'm so salty about that. So salty. Anyway, it's all from me. Thank you for watching. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.